Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Get in the Herd Recovery Podcast, brought to you by the McShin Foundation. Today, we have in our studio a really special person to me, and well, two people really special to me. One who really helped me out when I first got here as a participant, and somebody else who also is now in a similar role to that person. So, to my left over here, I have the oh gosh, what's a good adjective to describe you? Well, to my left, I have Carla. Carla, welcome to the show. Good to see you. Hi. And to my right, I have Amanda. Amanda, great to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I asked you here today. Amanda is a current AmeriCorps representative, and so we had AmeriCorps reps on the show last week or the week before, I think. And Carla is a former AmeriCorps rep who is now staff here at the McShin Foundation. And the amazing thing is, I remember Carla when I got here. I don't think you were AmeriCorps yet, but you became AmeriCorps while I was a participant. So when I needed help with this is going to sound funny. So those anybody who knows me and knows me 3 years ago when I first got here, I didn't have my glasses. You know, I need bifocals, you know, or progressive lenses to get around and to read well and see. And I didn't have those. In my using, I had destroyed them for a multitude, whatever. So all I had were these broken frames with no arms, and so what I would do is I wore you remember this, don't you? Yeah, I had some reading glasses, and I would take the bifocals and I would put them in the reading glasses so that I could read. And it became really frustrating to try to set up doctor's appointments and such like that because I really could not physically see. And anybody who's dealt with government websites or insurance websites knows that it's a Byzantine, labyrinthine, experience. And so having somebody like Carla, who I'd be like, Carla, I can't make this appointment. I can't read all this stuff. Would you just do this for me, please? It was really, really helpful. And Carla set up my first eye exam. So thank you for that. So what brings you to the show today, Carla? What brings you to the show?
Nathan.
Yeah?
Yeah, you, Nathan.
Oh. Well, who are you? What do you do now?
I'm Carla, the Assistant Director of Female Programs here at McShin.
Here at McShin. And what do you do on a regular basis? What were you out at Chesterfield corralling chickens the other day?
I work at the Chesterfield House on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And I'm here at McShin on Wednesdays.
Here at Hatcher, so at the I guess the foundational center of our organization. I understand there's been a lot of change over at Chesterfield the last week or so. Literally a chicken coop that has been built, and chickens have been. So when are we getting our chicken tenders?
Well, that's a good question.
Oh no.
I hope never.
And so yesterday, what were you guys doing yesterday out there? You guys were putting in a garden, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what did you plant out there?
Oh, a little bit of everything.
A little bit. Were you out there too, Amanda?
I was not. I saw some photos though. It was really exciting.
Green beans, tomatoes.
I saw radishes, and I thought to myself, I was like, "Who's going to eat radishes?"
Ooh, I love radishes. Yeah, there's a little peppery bite. Well, so Carla? Tell me, why are we doing that out there? What's that all about?
Well, it's to help. It's to give back.
To give back.
To help others.
Okay. I like.
And it gives the girls a bit of responsibility and.
Yeah. I've heard it said in a meeting that in the first, what is it? Get yourself a plant, and if you can take care of a plant, after 6 months, get yourself a pet. Am I
like a fish or something?
Well, I mean,
something small. I mean, you don't want to be getting a dog after taking care of a plant.
Well, I mean, that's right.
Could be a big jump there.
That right. Well, and so the logic here, and I'll go with this on Amanda. I appreciate this jumping in here. We often get into early recovery and we jump into relationships. And I say we, yeah. So, so people have been accused of jumping into relationships early on and don't know how to take care of themselves, and probably don't know how to take care of a plant yet. So, yeah. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, from what I've seen, I think it just seems like, you have all these emotions that are coming out And then you're meeting other people, and yeah, I mean, I think that that can be really difficult, when you have just so many emotions that you're trying to figure out. You're trying to figure out who you are, as someone that's, going through this process.
Mm.
So, yeah, I feel like that's my take on that.
Well, we've started off the show here with a whole bunch of topics here, but yeah, I want to bring it back to what you do here now. So,
Okay.
what is your role here at McShin, and how did you get involved? What brings you into this role?
So, I actually started here last August. Actually, 1 year ago today, I came in for my interview to be an intern,
Ooh.
which also marks the 8-year anniversary of my fiance's brother's passing from substance use disorder. He had sepsis, and so he passed away 8 years ago today. But I had my interview with McShin, a year ago on that day, and I then became an intern in August, and I decided to extend my semester because I enjoyed it so much. And so I came back in January, and now I'm doing AmeriCorps. And
Ooh.
so my major is actually health science, so it's more mental health focused. So when I saw McShin, I knew of McShin, and I was like, I really want to, see how I can be of, a help in that field and kind of learn more. So that's how I came here.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, how did you get into AmeriCorps? What was the process?
So when I found out that I was coming back in January to continue on with my internship, Jesse actually contacted me and said, "Hey, we have this position with AmeriCorps. I think it's something that you might be interested in." And of course, the first thing I said was, "What's AmeriCorps?" And I've heard like the Peace Corps,
Yeah.
but I had never heard of AmeriCorps. And honestly, it was a blessing because I was looking for a way to give back to the community, and this gives me a way to do that, and also be able to do it on a larger scale because I'm here as well, giving back to the community and kind of wanting to be that, source of hope and erasing the stigma and among other things. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
So what is this, a 6-month commitment, a 1-year commitment?
It's a 6-month commitment.
6 month. Okay.
Mhm.
So and when that 6 month is up
Yeah.
in June?
It's up in August.
Oh, in August. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It got extended. So we
That's
started
awesome.
in February instead of January.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, glad to have you. So
Yeah.
you came through, Carla. How did you get here today? Well, not today, but I mean, how did you get to AmeriCorps? I know you as the AmeriCorps rep, but I don't know what you did to get to McShin and how you got involved with AmeriCorps. Tell us about that. What was your journey?
Well, when I graduated Brown and Stratton, I have a degree in human services.
Ah.
So I already knew I wanted to work in this field. I just didn't know how.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned while I was at school that I could become a certified peer and help and give back.
And so you've become a certified peer recovery specialist, but before you did that, because I remember when you got that test, when you took that test coming in, I still haven't taken the test, by the way. I need to do a refresher course. But I remember that. But you were an AmeriCorps rep first. And so was that a 1-year commitment for you? Or was that also 6 months?
It was 1 year before AmeriCorps. I was a volunteer here.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember
And I
that.
found out about AmeriCorps through Tracy.
The former AmeriCorps, okay.
And I applied and I got it. Yay.
Yeah.
And it was for a year. After that year, McShin hired me.
Yeah.
And I've been here since 2018.
2018. When did you start in 2018?
July.
Okay, because I got here. I actually got here April 30th, 2018. So I'm coming up on being here, 3
Okay.
years exactly. Tomorrow, what is today? The 28th? Yeah. So the next day. But that's I've got lots of stories about that. We'll share that next week. But
Stories of Nathan.
no. Well, it's fun.
saga
A
continues.
saga. Well, the funny thing is and this is why I love the continuity of this place here at McShin. I've known Carla almost since I've been here. Justin was my first house leader when I got here.
Oh wow.
So I've known Justin since literally the first day I got here. He was one of the probably third or fourth McShin person I met when I got here, after Bob and Moses randomly. So, so we do have some people commenting up there. First of all, Johnny Fab, longtime listener up in Pennsylvania. Johnny, I haven't talked to you in a while, man. I want to see your TikTok going. Good to see you, Johnny. Woo up there. Sarah Wigginton, she is alumni. Sarah, I haven't seen you in a while either. I want to see that cute little baby. Sarah says, hey, what is AmeriCorps? What do they do? She says. Ooh, that's a good question. So what do you guys do? What do you do on a daily basis, Amanda?
Yeah, so AmeriCorps is a resource to kind of help people who are coming into the program, or helping people in general, and the public. They have different programs. This is the opioid prevention program, but they also have like the gardens program and a bunch of different kinds of programs where you can kind of give back to the community, and help others. And so what I do with AmeriCorps is I help people that are coming into the program do things like apply for their Medicaid or any kind of benefits, any kind of like SNAP benefits, as well as, setting up any appointments that they need for, whether it be the DMV so they can get their license, or, whatever the case is. I usually tell people when they come in, have a list of things that you really want to get done when you're here, so that I can, be of assistance and kind of help you figure that out. Even if I can't, directly do it, I will give you the resources so that you can then go and do that. So
Yeah, so as a recovery coach, who works with participants one-on-one, we the way I do it, I start to break down initially when I meet with a coachee. We talk about recovery capital, and recovery capital is essentially the things, but the ideas
Right.
that you have. So you've got your social, your human, and your physical
Mhm.
capital, and your physical, your housing, transportation, all these things. The human capital being the people around you, and the social capital being the people around you. The human capital, though, is a little different. It can be the people, but it's really the skill sets that are available to you, and whether that's my internal skill sets, or skill sets I can rely on in other people or other organizations. So we find that, or at least I do with my coachees, we put down what it is that we've got going for us,
Right.
and from there we can look at what do we need. And there's a lot of things in early recovery. First off, I got here, I needed glasses, I needed to go to the DMV, I had my teeth issues, and so I had all kinds of, I had stuff I had to do, like, and it seemed very, very overwhelming. Early on, for me, it was very overwhelming, and it was really incredible to have a team of people around me, and I keep joking about Justin being my first house leader, but Justin was an amazing house leader who just kind of was able to listen to me, kind of say, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, and he basically just went, it's all right. He didn't basically say it's all right. He kind of just sat there, listened, and helped me put things into perspective by not overreacting like I was doing.
Right.
And maybe he was just blowing me off. I don't know. No, he wasn't at all. We had good conversations, but then I needed other things. Like I needed to be able to make an eye doctor's appointment. And I mean, these are things I know how to do, but it was overwhelming.
Right.
And to have somebody in my corner who knows how to maneuver through the different systems, pull those levers of power,
Mhm.
Is incredibly helpful and powerful for an individual just coming into recovery. So after that, we start to look at what is it that we have, what do we need from there, and when we look at the things we have, I tell my coachees, okay, now we can start looking at that, and we can start our gratitude lists with some of these things. What are we grateful for, and let's be grateful for these things here, the ideas, the things, the people in our lives. And then now, what do we need to get, what do we
Right.
actually need, the
Right.
need versus want. And then what do we need, and how do we get there, so we can start setting some goals. And that for me, I mean, shoot, all of that stuff is difficult for me every day. I work on that stuff. as long as I don't put any substances in me one day at a time, though, I have a good chance at working on that stuff. But I need to set goals too. So this is really where you come in. You
Right.
know,
And I am a recovery coach too. And I did do the PRS class, so I'm close to my hours for sitting for the
Are
state
you
exam.
fantastic?
So yeah, forgot to mention that
Woo
earlier.
woo!
Yeah. When you started talking about it, I was like, oh wow, I can't believe I didn't mention that. But
Yeah. So you get to work with individuals all the time. Yeah.
yeah.
So Carla, when you were here as AmeriCorps, you had the office that is now, there's now a refrigerator in there filled with pee.
Yes.
Well, there wasn't a refrigerator filled with pee when you were up here, was there?
No.
It made for some interesting lunches. No, gosh, that's terrible.
Oh God.
But what has changed, if anything? You know, what's the evolution of the position? You know, what's changed from what you were doing? You know, what was it, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, that you were AmeriCorps to now? Are there any changes or things that have improved? You know, that have helped you in your jobs, or things that still need
What
to improve?
what has changed for me is then I was doing more of the benefits,
Hmm.
Medicaid,
Yeah.
SNAP, all day,
All
over and over and over. And now I actually get to spend more time with the girls.
Yeah.
And I like that. We get to talk and I get to know them better. They get to know me.
And they love you. They do.
Thank you.
They do. They do. Carly, you're amazing. And Amanda, so you get to do this on a daily basis now too, and you have some other admin duties that get thrown at you. I
Yeah.
know you're at the front desk, which is a vital, point of contact here, and that wasn't something we had a few years ago. You remember when it was just sort of willy nilly, people walk in the door, oh, where's McShin? So now that we have that really important spot filled, you're
Yes.
there. So you get to be a face and voice of what McShin is right off the bat, as well as helping the newcomer walking in the door with these very important, setting up these very important systems of care, essentially.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, every day is different. I've only worked the front desk a couple of times. That's definitely a role. But most importantly, I'm just here to, do whatever I can to help. That's why I say it's just different every single day because everything's different minute to minute.
Yeah.
And so I'm, open to new and exciting challenges. But yeah, definitely a lot of administrative things, a lot of recovery coaching, a lot of, having conversations with, like what Carla said, getting to know the women and, taking that time to really build relationships on both ends, not just with the women, but when I do groups with the gentlemen downstairs too. I like to, see how I can be of assistance to them as well, because there's definitely a lot of them as well. So
awesome. What do you find? Well, let's say hi to everybody. So, Ashley Mull, Ashley up there. Hello, hey
Yes.
Ashley. Hope you're doing all
Hi,
right.
Ashley.
Randy Allen, good to see you, Randy. He says hello, everyone. And Brandy Nicole, love you, Carla and Amanda Nicole Stevens.
Hi, Brandy.
hi.
And what I should
Lydia.
say, Lydia.
Hey, Lydia.
Is that a person with her hand up and two kisses? What is that?
Yeah.
I can't read those emoticons from here. Is that emoticon? Is that the right word?
Emoji.
Emojis. Okay. I'm over. I'm over for years old.
You got it. You got it.
Look at these fun people here. So, what are you say that your job is different from day to day, and that's one of the things that really appeals to me.
Mhm.
Working here. What are the consistent things that keep you coming here every day? What is it that keeps you coming back every day?
That's a great question. I love that. So like I said, every day is different. I love that because it keeps me on my toes for one. When I come in every day, I don't know what to expect, what's going on at first, and then I kind of, get an idea of what's going on, then I can then put together a to-do list of things that I need to do. And for me, that's exciting. It's new. It's fun. And it keeps me motivated. And I don't know. I love it. It's different every day, and that's what I love about it.
What do you hope to take away from this experience when you leave here in August? Do you have ideas of what you want to do afterwards, where you want to go?
Yeah, so I definitely want to do something in mental health, something in behavioral health. I feel that this experience has really helped me connect with others and build those relationships and kind of lean towards my studies in mental health and put those to use while I've been here. And that's really helped me grow in my relationships with the people here. And you know, yeah. It's good.
Johnny Fad over there is paraphrasing William White with his recovery capital definition there, and recovery capital can be best represented as the breadth and depth of internal and external resources that can be drawn upon to sustain recovery. That may actually be the
sure.
William White definition. The one that I've got in the recovery coach section recovery coach book says something like the quality and quantity of internal and external resources that can be drawn to bear upon blah blah blah. It's like 8,000 words that could and William White, I know no disrespect, but it's like 8,000 words that could be really put down into like 10. So
Nathan,
Uh-oh.
who is William White?
who is William White?
Who is William White?
William White is a recovery advocate who is down, I believe I think he lives down in Tampa or Clearwater now, somewhere down in Florida, who has really been able to define and at least for a lot of people, what am I trying to say? Go ahead. You have a definition for William White?
No, I do not. I was basically asking for anybody out there listening that does not
Oh,
know who
right.
William White is.
William White is a recovery advocate who has talked extensively about the importance of authentic peer recovery. So same thing. Hugs Nathan. Hi, Johnny. So William White, and I haven't. He's published a lot of information, which I have only begun to scratch the surface on with him. But he has really helped champion the authentic peer recovery movement in the last several years, and brought forth and recognize that that we say this in a certain 12-step fellowship, the therapeutic value of one addict helping another is without parallel.
That's it.
Yeah, right. And so whether you do the 12 steps that program or not, it's I have lived experience, and I've gotten through it, so I can help you. And you don't have to be an addict. Not everybody here is an addict who's gonna. But we all have lived experience. So when we draw on our lived experience to help each other, that's where that authentic peer connection comes from, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of what we do here. So challenges, excitements. What brings you here every day?
I love it. It's challenging yet rewarding all at the same time, and every day is different.
It is the promise of chicken and ribs coming out of the back of my car, isn't it?
You definitely learn something new every day. That's for sure.
Yes, whether it be from staff, the newcomer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I've actually learned a lot from Jill. A lot.
Jill is our female program director, who is I think she was on the show last week with Dixie, or the week before. So
Yeah. She was
yeah.
AmeriCorps when I started volunteering.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Okay, I mean I knew she was here. Okay, I didn't realize she was also AmeriCorps. Yeah,
Yes.
because I remember Tracy. Tracy had
Yes.
that office, the same little office right there. Where are you? You're downstairs, right?
I'm wherever.
You're wherever.
Yeah, I float around.
You float.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So, what do you think we need right now in the recovery space? That what would be the best thing that we could do right now in the recovery space to help the newcomer walk in and off the street? What are we missing? What do we need? What can we do to help? What's the next thing we need to add? Any ideas?
I think we need to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Being authentic.
yeah. Definitely making that great first impression. When that person sees, the first person that they see you hope that they see someone that's friendly and ready to help. And so, yeah, I definitely think that we do a good job of that. And like Carla said, we definitely need to keep doing what we're doing. Yeah. What is your take on that, Nathan?
Well, yeah, no, I think more of this, more of what we're doing, I think making sure that we can get individuals into hospitals. I think that there are a lot of places around the country where they've been able to put peer recovery specialist or whatever that state's equivalent type of person is into hospitals and working with emergency departments as individuals come in experiencing a substance use related emergency. I think that's an incredibly powerful and something that we need to really focus on here in Virginia, and there has been a focus on that. It's been a tough slog the last couple of years with that, but I think it's still a lot of work to do there. I think working with more and more as we can with our police and other first responders, so that we can make sure that the public health crisis that is addiction is treated as a public health crisis and not as a criminal justice issue. I think we need to work more towards that and to continue making sure that as faces and voices of recovery that we serve on those councils, we attend our meetings, we go to board of supervisor meetings, town hall meetings, anywhere we can, talking to our delegates, talking to our state senators, because all politics is local, right? And I think that the way that we can best help, another way that we can best help the newcomer is to make sure that as we progress in our own recovery, that we take our recovery and we share our recovery, with those people who may not know what that is. So, I have the opportunity as outreach director here that I get to go and talk to people who may not know what recovery means. I only share what recovery means to me, and I'm always grateful when other people can, get past and get out of our own personal stigmas. The idea that I'm a bad person, the idea that I don't have self-worth, and say, what, I do have something to share. I can share my experience and look at this, 3 years ago, I walked into this place, this is my story. 3 years ago, I walked into this place right after I got out of the jail program with a bag of groceries and a bag of clothes and into a house with a bunch of people who had jobs, a lot of them, cars. And I had no idea where I was because I'm not from Richmond and I hadn't been to Richmond in 20 years at that point. And, here I am today, and I get to help people every day. And it's not oh, look at me, I have a car or this or that or the other. It's like, those are nice things to have. But what I have is a sense of purpose. And I get to, and that's what we do. We get the sense of purpose. I'm reading to that. So sharing that, I think also working at the state level and the local level to change the law. In Virginia, a possession charge for a Schedule 1 or Schedule 2 narcotic, which includes methamphetamines, cocaine, heroin, that Schedule 1 or Schedule 2 narcotics is punishable as a felony for up to 10 years in prison. That's absurd. Just on the face of it, that's absurd. And and judges have latitude and blah blah blah. But from my own personal experience, I was arrested, with a possession charge, and I was a first offender. And in Virginia, you do have a first offenders rule, right? But I'm an addict, and I continued to use, and I threw that away, And so because I ended up throwing the first offenders rule because I still used, I became a felon. I was sentenced to 2 years in prison. That was suspended, but I had 2 years of probation, and for many reasons I'm grateful because of course I found recovery in a jail program, but I don't think it has to be that way.
Right.
I think we
I
can
agree.
Yeah.
we can push and so I mean now I've gotten my rights restored and I've gotten through that process, and I still have other things that I can do or need to do to get all of my rights restored, but it's like, why do we do
Right.
that?
What's the point?
What is
Yeah.
the point? We're just trapping people in a cycle. That's my view on that.
Right.
But as far as preach it, brother, I love it, Johnny. But as far as walking in the door, a brand new person in recovery, that hey, come in, sit down, I get hungry. I got to do, this is funny, right? I've been here almost 3 years as a participant and now staff, for 2 years as staff, and I did my first intake yesterday. or day before, whatever it
Me
was.
too.
Yeah,
Yesterday.
I
Last
think
night.
mine might have been the day before, but yeah, and I had never done one, right?
Same.
And I've certainly been around when the first person walked in the door and stuff. So it's and of course I know what the rules are. I used to do orientation here all the time, so I know I kind of
yeah.
So I got to do that the other day, and that was really cool because it was like I'm not talking down to somebody.
right.
I'm sharing with somebody. This is where I was just a few years ago. I was in your shoes in that seat in this office.
Mhm.
Literally the same office. It's like I'm not just a guy telling you, you know what, you're a terrible person and you're gonna fix you. It's like, no, you're in the right place. We're gonna help you find your goals and help you together. And that was pretty awesome. Johnny Fab up there. Read William White, Slaying the Dragon. Yeah, absolutely. Slaying the Dragon, The History of Addiction Treatment and Recovery in America. It is a big, thick, giant read. You probably have a copy from Recovery Coach classes.
Yes,
you probably
I do.
too. I have a copy, gathering dust on the bottom shelf in my desk or my in my office.
At least you're honest.
Well, I've flipped through it. I'm not. I have I have ADD like a crazy guy. If anybody knows me, like, and I'm not crazy in a non-clinical sense, not a clinician. I can say that word and mean it ironically. Let me walk all this back here. No, but the reality, I do have the book, and I'm much better with sound bites because no attention span. So okay, now let's transition.
Okay.
Let's
I have ADHD too. It's
yeah,
fine.
right.
Yeah.
Woo, squirrel. So I know a little bit about Carla's life. I don't know anything about you and your personal life. Tell us about your fiance. Tell us about his brother if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah, sure. So my fiance and I started dating almost 9 years ago. It'll be 9 years next month. When we were in high school, I was junior in high school.
That was what, last year?
Yeah, right.
She's so young.
I
is what I'm saying.
wish. I really wish, but no.
Girl, I'm gonna be years old in a few weeks. So
You're gonna be how old?
Yeah, years old.
Yeah.
28 again.
Right? 29 holding.
28.
29 holding, yeah.
I'm sorry. This isn't about me.
No, you're good. You're good. So my fiance is one of three brothers. His oldest brother actually came through McShin, so that's how I know about what you guys do here, what we do here. And his middle brother also had substance use disorder and actually had sepsis from using dirty needles. So he had bacterial endocarditis November of 2012 and was struggling with, chest pains. He was in recovery. He had been clean for 9 months prior to his passing, and he passed away from a heart attack 8 years ago today. So he was 22 years old when it happened. And yeah, it's weird to think because now Scott and I are actually older than he was when he passed away, being 26. So
Yeah,
it's but yeah, I mean, it was hard to see a family go through so much pain, and for me, seeing that I didn't have anyone in my immediate family that had struggled from that, so it was definitely something that was obviously humbling, but really, really sad because, here I was, didn't have, I'm trying to figure out like how to express the correct words, had, two siblings and, he had lost a sibling and it's like, how do you deal with that? How do you, I can imagine losing one of my siblings, first of all. I mean, we were all three very close, and him and his brother were very close. They were best friends. So I just couldn't imagine. I couldn't fathom that pain. And so when I started, figuring out what I wanted to do, I knew I wanted to help others, but I didn't know how I wanted to help others. And so I started as a biology major and then I switched into health science just because I realized I wanted to do something in mental health. I realized that was a big area of opportunity. And so that's how I came here. And yeah,
Yeah.
specific questions about like my story or
Well,
what?
no, that's good stuff right there. So, and I know you want to get into the mental health field going forward, and that's I mean that's broad and that's awesome, because
Mhm.
ask me what I want to do in the future. I'm going to tell you I work a program of one day at a time, but
Right.
I'm also going to tell you that I need to put together goals. So it's it's sort of it's a balancing act, for me in
Right.
recovery. It's like, okay, yes, I have to do one day at a time, but yes, I also have to make sure I have enough money in the bank to pay my rent. Yes, I have to do one day at a time, but also, 5 years from now, do I want to be driving the same car? Because it's probably going to be dead. It's like, these are things I have to set a goal and plan for. And and that's a beautiful thing about recovery. It's like, I'm not chasing the dragon, as it were. I'm not chasing the high. Nowadays it's my day. My days are relaxed. I mean, I come to work and there's a lot of variables in the day. And learning not to personalize everybody else's recovery.
Mhm.
How do you feel about that? I think you probably know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about you and maybe your goals and your program. I know can I share?
Sure.
You're a person in recovery, too. So tell us about what do you do for your recovery? What are your goals? What are your thoughts? Tell us all about Carla. Tell us all about
Well,
you.
I don't use no matter what.
Ooh, ooh,
That's my saying.
ooh. All right. I
That's
like
my
that.
saying. Don't use no matter what.
Don't use no matter what. When you're working individually one-on-one with the women who come in here, and I know you run groups as well. um how do you separate how do you go home and turn off?
Well, I have a 16-year-old daughter.
Oh yeah, right, she'll take your attention.
Yes.
I didn't realize, gosh, she's 16. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. What, she's gonna be a senior sophomore, junior this year?
Junior. Yes.
Yeah, good for her. How's she doing with the pandemic and school and all that stuff?
Well, she wants to go back to school, and I don't want her to physically enter the building.
Ah,
She's virtual, and I
okay.
love it. She's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
um how about you now? Any kids?
No kids.
No kids? No. So tell me, how has your pandemic been?
Well, VCU's been online since last spring. So we've been online for a year now, which is, I can't even believe that.
It's weird driving down in the campus area,
It's dead.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so I did part of the spring semester online because we went online, I think it was like March, and then the summer semester online, and then this year, the entire year has been online. But then I graduate in May. So I was explaining to a few people I was a transfer student from Reynolds, and so I really only attended one semester at VCU in person. So I don't yes, I will be an alumni of VCU, but it won't really feel that way because I haven't really attended like any in-person classes. So it's really strange. It's a weird time we're living in.
The year before the pandemic, I think I was in DC 3 or 4 times, and I'm from Northern Virginia, or at least I have family in Northern Virginia, and so I was up in Northern Virginia several times, but I was actually in DC proper a few times the year before last, and I was in DC on March, I think 5th last year, a week before basically the world shut down, but there was still enough of a scare that we went. I was with a participant at the time, and we went to there are 11 members of the House of Representatives from Virginia and 2 senators. So we went to all 13 offices that day. It was exhausting, but the weather was beautiful. We had a great time, but it was exhausting. And And I got to tell you, if you ever plan on doing anything like that, make sure you look at what buildings they're in, so you can try to put everybody who's in the same building at the same time or near this.
Oh, lots
'Cause
of walking. it sounds
I
like.
hadn't planned that out, because we ended up, there's 4 different buildings that we had to go to. It was a lot of walking. But the cool thing is, we did. I was just looking at my phone, and I got a voicemail from Representative Spanberger's office. We actually bumped into our congresswoman, or the congresswoman who represents the district that McShin is in anyway, and bumped into her while I was walking the halls, and she knew who I was, which is kind of cool. So we got to talk to her a little bit, but it was funny, the experience, because some of the offices were already getting into, like washing the hands and not shaking hands, and others, I think there was that foot tapping thing that was talked about at the very beginning of the pandemic.
Oh wow.
Now I know we do the elbow thing, but it was a foot tap thing that they thought it was, people were doing just to joke at that time. But I was there again for the first time in DC just last week. And I was there on Monday, not last Monday. And I was up there doing touristy stuff. I was just up there with a friend who had never been to DC. And we just took the drive up for the day. We didn't stay anywhere. We just went up for the day. But I realized just how profound the pandemic had been for up there when we left at 5:30 in the afternoon and experienced no traffic.
No.
I know. And I wasn't even, I looked and I went, it didn't dawn on me until we were
You were
actually,
like, what time is it? You can't be right.
I wasn't even thinking about traffic because I was able to drive down to Georgetown and to go to one of my favorite places in the world, one of my favorite little restaurants, and park within a half block of the restaurant in Georgetown in the middle of the afternoon on a Monday. And then we were able to park. We parked right at the base of the Washington Monument. How the heck do you find parking for that?
Yeah.
Normally. And that was enough of a, oh, wow, kind of experience. But then when we left at 5:30, it didn't even dawn on me as we were leaving that, oh, we might experience traffic. Like, I didn't even think about traffic until we got on the road, and I went, wait, there is no traffic. This is weird. That was really wild. Of course, there was a lot of things closed, but the weather was gorgeous, and we just walked around. But
So it must have been right before the weather started to get cold last week. We
we
had like 30 days where it was like 50 degrees.
Well, yeah, it's the Mid-Atlantic. We'll have to go through a couple of winters,
Like,
and
make
then
up your mind.
it was at 89 today or something ridiculous.
Exactly.
Yeah. And by May
Um,
1st, it'll be 100 degrees.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, at least, and as I was saying outside, at least there's no humidity yet. Oh gosh, are we
I
actually
felt
talking
it this
about the weather?
morning. Felt it this morning.
Yeah.
We are talking about the weather. It's like
are.
we're on the radio now at this point.
Dun, dun, dun. But that's right. And so as the world, right? So this is what I'm getting at, right? All these things that have changed in the world, all this sort of because that really demonstrates the level of isolation. And I think in Central Virginia, I don't think here in Richmond, I'll speak for myself. I don't feel like my life has changed as far as my work life has changed all that much in the last year. What's changed for me was my access to meetings, to recovery meetings. And I think, other people who have experienced, I know a lot of people who lost their jobs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I think that lack of access to meetings has been really, really detrimental.
Well,
And
this line of work, nothing stops. That's what I've really picked up on. And even with my mom works in the hospital as a hospital administrator, and even for her, like, it doesn't stop. If they're going to do Zoom meetings, they're going to do Zoom meetings however they can do it, because it just doesn't stop. And when we're talking about, especially people's lives, you just can't put that on hold. So
Well, we're
lucky enough that,
Yep.
our lives essentially haven't been put on hold because of the pandemic. Unfortunately, it's not like that for everybody, but
Yeah, we've adapted. We've adapted, quickly. There's, I know you're wearing your mask. I mean, I've been vaccinated for
I have
like
too.
2 months now, and so I'm fairly comfortable without wearing mine, here. But I still wear mine in public all the time, and in fact, I think I probably will just continue to do that.
I agree.
I haven't had a cold, knock wood, in over a year. It's wonderful, But like the habit of washing hands, which I don't think I've really changed that habit too much, because I was not fastidious necessarily, but I certainly had a habit of washing my hands. But the glass partition or plexiglass partitions everywhere, this is like stuff that I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that change, but it has made so much of like access to recovery more difficult for individuals. And so, yeah, we're seeing a lot of the government entities, we're seeing a lot of other organizations, that the hospitals, who are turning away patients, who are turning away clients. I hate that word, but, clients and things because of COVID. And as a result, organizations like McShin, which have stayed open, have absorbed, and we're grateful to be able to have the capacity, grateful to have the capacity and to be of service, to be available. We've absorbed way more individuals coming in because other organizations haven't been able to, while the demand for access to affordable healthcare treatment, for substance use disorder has increased in a remarkable way. I won't say crazy again. And we can see how that's demonstrated by the number of overdose deaths that have, increased over the last 12 months. We can see that in some places, 30-35% higher numbers in a 12-month period over the year before. And which, after a trend of it kind of plateauing for a few years, is really, I guess alarming is a word to use. If it weren't my friends, and people we all know and love dying. So to be able to have these, places still open is incredible. So, I got to applaud you guys for the work that you do. I just realized we've been talking for 47 minutes. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Time goes by fast when you're having fun, right?
Yeah. But I guess all that to say this, right? We've got a lot of work. And, we as an organization at McShin, right? We as a movement of authentic peer recovery advocates, we are the most hands-on, boots on the ground, most easily adaptable people to do this work because we have that firsthand experience. We have that lived experience. That's the word I'm looking for. We have that knowledge. We have that institutional knowledge. We have that work ethic. We have that desire to help the next person because we were the next person at one point.
Yes.
Yeah. So come to a place like us. We should land the plane here. I apologize, Justin. I'm just rambling. But it's a good talk today.
And that's why you do outreach.
Yeah, right. I do love my job. Carla, do you have any last thoughts, hopes, inspirational messages? Any particular meat orders you want to put in?
Don't use no matter what.
Don't use no matter what. I like that. I probably should explain the reference, shouldn't I? I've been known to pull up at McShin with a cooler full of meat and to just share with anybody who wants a brisket or
we're not even going to talk about that.
or bacon. You don't want any meat out of the back of my truck?
Nope, I do not.
You missed it.
No, I was here for that.
Oh, no, we've done it. Well, anyway.
For one of them.
For one of them, yeah. Any last words, thoughts, encouraging hopes, dreams? This is the moment.
No, just thank you everyone for watching.
Justin, any thoughts, concerns, traffic reports?
Traffic report on our radio station.
It's a beautiful day outside.
It is a
So don't sit in your room by yourself. Go outside, have some fun with some other people, and don't use no matter what.
Yeah, and keep your mask on outside, not because the CDC tells you to or tells you not to. It doesn't matter. Keep it on because that pollen is vicious out there.
It is.
Justin and I were both out there just hacking our freaking lungs out earlier, and just keep the mask on, keep the pollen away. With
Good
that,
advice.
yeah, with that, I will not see you tomorrow at 2:00. I believe we're going to have special guest host Dixie, but we may have to do a little persuasion for that. But I will see you all next Tuesday. I've got some awesome guys and gals lined up for next week. We're going to put that out. I hope on Monday we'll be able to put out an episode guide for the week. That's my goal. I'm saying this live online on the air right now in front of witnesses so that I can be held accountable. But I will tell you, I've got some good guys and gals lined up already. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you all for listening. Thank you to our two fantastic guests today,
Thank you, Nathan.
Amanda and Carla, and of course to our producer, Justin, over there.
Yes.
See y'all next time.
Thank you.
Here at McShin, we believe in the McShin way, which is authentic recovery support service providers, people with lived experience, bringing that experience to those who need that lived experience in recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in many things to support our mission. We believe in women empowerment.
What I love most about what we believe here at McShin is we believe in the authenticity of the peer-to-peer approach.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in giving people opportunity.
Here at McShin, we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
At the McShin Foundation, we believe in helping people reach their full potential.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in multiple pathways to recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in placing principles before personalities to help spread hope.
Here at McShin, we believe that recovery is possible and that any person seeking recovery can become a more acceptable, responsible, and productive member of society.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in self-discovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in saving lives and offering second chances.
Here at McShin, we believe you can do this.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe that we can only keep what we have by giving away, which is why we continue to help others like us seek and find recovery.